Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is RuneSnow, and today we'll be exploring the top 10 temporal cards. So let's begin with the top 10. And now, at number 10. We have this card, Temporal Machinations. It's from the set Dominaria, and it is a common. This card is not very good at all in the Magic world, but it is for the top 10 temporal. That's why it's at number 10. It costs 3 mana for it to put into play. It says return target creature to its owner hands. If you control an artifact, draw a card. So that's pretty cool. If you have any kind of art, draw a card on top of that. The picture is really cool. But that's all I can say about this card right now. So let's move on to number 9. And at number 9, we have Temporal Distortion. It's from Invasion, and it's a rare. Again, I'm going to say it. The picture is really cool, and it costs 5 mana for this card. The reason why it's at number 9 is it says, whenever a creature or land becomes tapped, put an hourglass on it. Permanents with an hourglass can counter on it. Them don't untap during their next controller's untapped phase. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, remove all hourglass counters from permanents that player controls. So again, this is a rare. It's a really fun card. It's by the illustrations by Stephen Law, so it can be very annoying. But with 5 mana, I feel like you can do so much more. Again, the whole point of temporal cards is to affect the time of the game, and so far we have not reached that, so maybe we'll do that in the next few cards. So let's begin with number 8. And at number 8 we have Temporal Adept, and this card is from the Urza Destiny mainly, but from 7th, 8th, and 9th edition as well. As you can see, it is a rare. I really like this card. Unfortunately, it's at number 8. It's basically return target permanent to its owner's hands for 3 blue mana, and you tap this 1/1 creature. I like that. Can you imagine having 4 of that and return target permanent? Again, it's really good because it doesn't say target creature, it says target permanent. So basically 3 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana, and you can keep bringing those permanents in there, which could be good, could be land, anything. Again, that's why it's at number 8. I'm going to keep repeating myself. I really like this card, and Urza's Destiny is one of my favorite series. So there we go. So let's move on to number 7. So at number 7 we have Temporal Manipulation. It's from various sets. As you can see, the picture is from Double Masters, and it could be a rare or a legendary depending on the set it is from. And this card is basically quite simple. Take an extra turn after this one, and it costs 5 mana. I like it, it's classic, and this is all it does. So let's move on to number 6. And at number 6 we have Karn's Temporal Sundering, and it's from the set Dominaria, and it's a rare. And again, I really like this card because it costs 6 mana, and it says target player takes an extra turn after this one, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then exile the card. So it's an extra mana for that extra bonus. And also it says you may cast a legendary sorcery only if you control a legendary creature or a planeswalker. Bit of the side back, but it's because it's Karn. And again, there's a whole mythos behind Karn going back in time to save a certain person. And we won't get into that. But again, I really like this card because it's at number 6. And there, again, it has a lot of mythos. That's another reason why. So let's move on to number 5. Oh, at number 5, we have Temporal Aperture from the Urza Saga series. And it's a rare. Urza Saga has to be one of my favorite series between this and Tempest. But anyway, it costs 2 mana. So its ability set costs 5. It says shuffle your library, reveal the top card. Until end of turn, as long as your card remains on top of your library, you may play this card as though it were not in your hand without paying its casting cost. Wow, that card is very good. I like that in general. The picture really describes this type of card with that aperture hanging from the ceiling. But anyway, I think this is really good. This is why it's at number 5, because of that ability. So let's move on to number 4. So the next card we have is actually Temporal Trespass. It's from Fate Reforged, and it's actually a legendary. And yes, this card, as you can see, costs 8 plus 3 blue mana, but it has Delve, which means each card in the exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1. Take an extra turn after this one, and then exile it. I really like this card because it has Delve. It does cost a bit more, so chances are at this point you will have cards in your graveyard. And the saying is really good. Few truly live in the moment. Again, very cool card, very cool picture. I like this card. It's just all around good. So let's move on to number 3. So at number 3 we have Temporal Extortion. And I love this card from Planar Chaos, and it is a rare because it's black, costs only 4 mana, and it says when you may play Temporal Distortion, any player may play half his or her life rounded up. If that player does, counter it, and then take an extra turn after this one. So, you know, even with Dark Ritual, you can play the second turn, and there's a good chance that the player is going to lose half their health down to 10 already like that. Like, this is great, great card. Again, it was very hard to decide where to put this on the list because this is one of my favorite cards, but again, there are 2 other cards better on the list. So let's begin with number 2. And at number 2, we have Temporal Mastery. And it's from Mystery Booster Modern Masters 2017 and Avacyn Restored. And as you can see, it's a legendary card. This card is here at number 2 because of the Miracle ability. So without it, it actually costs 5 colors with 2 islands. It says take an extra turn after this one and then exile, which is pretty standard for these type of cards. But again, it's here for its miracle cost. 1 and blue. It says you may cast this card from its miracle cost when you draw it if it's the first card you draw this turn. And the saying is, time is a marvelous plaything. Again, I've said in the last card as well, I like the picture too on top of that. So just everything about this makes it perfect. Miracle, 2 mana to take an extra turn. Yes, it's a sorcery like everything else, but that is just absolutely amazing. Pay 2 mana for an extra turn. You can't beat that. I love it. That is the best take an extra turn card. But again, it's the best temporal card? Maybe not. So let's move on to number 1. So at number 1, as you can see, I had to do it. Teferi. It's Temporal Archmage. Yes, that good old Planeswalker from Mystery Booster or Commander 2014. And as you know, and expect, it would be a legendary card as well. This is at number 1 because, yes, it costs 6 mana to bring out. So it does take a while to get it out, but it also has great abilities. So he comes out with 5 counters. So it says +1. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. So again, he can be used as a card drawer every turn. I really like that ability. And also the other ability is -1. Untap up to 4 target permanents. So it's not limited to like creature anything. It's just, that's really good. And then on top of that, it says -10. You get the emblem. You may activate the loyal abilities of Planewalkers you control on any player's turn. Anytime you can cast an instant. There you go. Boom. That's really good. This is a really good Planeswalker in and itself. And of course, it says at the very bottom, it could be your commander. Again, that could be very helpful with commander decks or whatever you choose. I think this is number 1 card because you can do a lot more with this card with those 3 options, and this is why it's here. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening, and if you like this video, there's more on this channel. Have a good day.